Alright, so I managed to get 6th place in the Bandai Regional Qualifier on August 21st. I did it playing Security Control, Sec C. I've been sticking with this archetype for a long time. I picked it up basically right after KVN, so shout out to the big poppy of the archetype himself, Kevin Besta. And yeah, I've had pretty solid results playing security control since then in BT3, BT4. In those formats, I think that the deck was quite a bit stronger, and now I think it still has legs. I'm seeing a lot of different builds, but I kind of wanted to talk about mine since I think it's also pretty different, and I'm calling it Threat Light Control. So I'm gonna show it off. I've been playing this since the start of the format, really. It was kind of an experiment of mine. I wanted to play a bunch of options, and Omnimon's worked. And I was actually playing Volcanic Dramon for a while before this event, actually. So shout out to my friend and teammate NavarreOnline, who helped me find the replacement for Volcanic Dramon, which I think is actually quite good, possibly a game changer. Don't know yet, it's a bit early to tell, but I have been happy with the cards so far. So let's show off the deck and just get into it. But yeah, I think that Security Control has more variety than any of the other top decks, and you can build quite differently and have it be viable. So I might make a video talking about all of the different options out there right now, but for now I'll just try to stay on track and talk about my deck. So the card that changed everything for me was Purge Shine. You'll see, I ended up cutting Mistymon for this build because I wasn't confident in keeping my threats around, and I was trying out a lot more option cards. So I was playing Volcanic Dramon in place of these, but I didn't actually know that this was a card. And then my friend Navarre found this card as we were talking the night before the event, and I had a box of BT4. I actually thought that I had looked at like all of the options and bought a bunch of stuff for security control just in case I wanted to play it, but totally missed on this card, and I ended up cracking my box just for Purge Shine, and I clearly got there. So decided to play 2 Purge Shine. This card was an all-star against Rookie Rush, and I think it's quite good against Lord Knight. It didn't get to do its best, but I think that this can help quite a bit in that matchup, since you really want to kill their Lord Knight, but if they're going super wide, then you have something to let yourself get a 2-for-1, a 3-for-1 without passing way too much memory, which is a reason I wanted to try without Misty, but builds with Misty are totally viable too. This is just a card that I am a fan of in this threat-like control. So yeah, Purge Shine. Give the team minus 3,000. It can even work for like if you have enough memory, cast Purge Shine and then something else for minus DP, or like a Transcendent Sword and kill a Lord Knight, something like that. That hasn't really come up, but point is card's cool and I'm pretty happy with it. The next cards we have here is 3 Blade of the True. A lot of the time people will play 2 of this card. I decided to try 3 here just because I am super heavy on options, and I am still playing rookies, so I really like that this can draw you to your rookies, your tamers, whatever, just smooth your draws out, and I am playing 3. I think this card is even better now since the Rookie Rush deck is way stronger than it was in previous formats, and I believe if your opponent is playing the matchup correctly, a lot of the time they will end up trying to choke you at about 4 security. And that means Blade of the True will still draw you 2 cards. So yeah, the more people that play against security control and keep you at 4, the more this card is at least drawing you 2 consistently. And sometimes you can even draw 3 cards, and that's when it gets really insane. Of course, the card has its downsides, but I have been happy with it so far. Next card is 7 Heavens. I think that this card is still solid. It misses more now for sure, but it's important to have removal spells that are easy to cast off of your eggs. So, still playing the 3. I would even consider 4, honestly. Speaking of 4-ofs, Eden's Javelin, of course. This card is just fantastic. I love Eden's Javelin. It goes great with the 3 Blade of the Trues. A lot of the time, your Edens can kill a massive threat thanks to all the card draw, and that is super valuable. Next up, I'm actually playing 2 Plasma Stakes. I wanted a lot of ways to deal with Lord Knight. When that card sticks around, it is a disaster, and I wanted a lot of good answers in my security. This card can be very situational, so can Purge Shine, but I think that they hold their weight, and I have been happy with this. There's a lot of level 6s, level 7s going around now, and Plasma Stake does more work now than before. I even played one of a Plasma Stake for basically all of BT4, so I'm a bigger fan of the card than most anyways, but now I think this card is just, mwah, it's fantastic. Next we have Transcendent Sword. I'm actually not sure how worth it this card is yet. I like it. I think for this Threat Light build, it's pretty necessary though. You really want to have a lot of removal. The plan is removal, chip away with rookies, hope to hit Omnimon, kill him, or just deck him, get him out of gas, kill them with Magna, etc., etc. But Transcendent Sword pulled its weight. Against decks like Green, there's a lot of just 11Ks for you to kill. And yeah, the card is fine. It's unfortunate that you can't get the 15K or less a lot of the time. Sometimes you can, but the card, I think, is justified here in this Threat Light build, and I could see not playing it in many versions of Security Control as well, since when it misses, it feels terrible. It feels worse than Plasma Stake when it misses. Next, we have 4 Gaia Forces. Of course, this card... Oh, what are you doing, camera? There we go. This card is just the reason to be in red, really. It's insane. There is talk of like trying a yellow-black or a black version of Security Control, and really the reason to not is because of Gaia Force. This card is perfection. Love Gaia Force, and it in part is why I am not doing 3 colors myself. Again, I can get into the archetypes of Security Control and how many different builds there are in another video, but yeah, this is one of the main reasons. I just wanted my deck to be as consistent as possible, since that's why I think Security Control is so strong, and play Gaia Force from hand or from security. So, then we have 3 Lucamon. Lucamon is just amazing. You can play it off your Magnadramons when you attack. That can let you spiral ahead out of a game, or even come back if your Magna manages to stick around, which is pretty rare. Playing it for 5 memory is amazing. This card is just great, and I would consider having 4 in this version of the deck for sure. There is so much options, which you're going to see. Like, there's 18 removal spells here. Then we have Blade of the True, Tamers, Omnimon. There is a lot of power for you to recover into, so Lucamon is great. Then we have our rookies. We're at 4 Salamon. Salamon is just amazing. A lot of the time, your opponent will try to keep you at 4 security because of Salamon on the bench. It is very threatening, and free recovery is super powerful. You will be attacking your opponent's tapped Digimon instead of security just to let it die and recover into something nasty a lot of the time. This card is great. It is my only 4 of rookie, which you will see here. We have 1 Patamon, and let's just show off the 2 1 of rookies. 1 Patamon and 1 Starmons. These are kind of utility rookies. I'm not really sure that this is where I want to be, but there are situations that I really like having Patamon, and there's situations I really like having Starmons. I've been messing around with this card. Sometimes you'll play it, can let you Transcendent Sword, can let you, use another removal spell, 7 Heavens, kill a Lord Knight. Or you could even bring your rookie off the bench, play it, and kill a 2K rookie of your opponents or something, just to try to be memory efficient, not pass them too much memory. And it's fine. It has had situations where it's been quite good for me, and it's had situations where I just Digivolve it on my egg and hope that there's a Cupimon or something and it draws me a card. So it has pulled its weight, so has Patamon. they can come in quite clutch. Let's just put them together like that. The little one of rookies. Starmon's new. Sorry, Patamon. Got the cool shades, so we'll put it there. Then I have 2 Bushi Agumons. Ended up not wanting 3 to 4 of this card because this deck is so threat light. Late game, it can still steal games, and it is super good off of Magna in those spots where you're racing. So I still like having the 2. I still want to see this card. That opinion could change, and it could change to get rid of Bushi. It could change to get rid of my little utility rookies. But I like having the 2 just for kind of that late game finish. And its DP is very strong as well. If you have a tie, like a 4K Bushi's, no joke. If you have 2 ties, it can swing through a good amount of blockers, or at least trade with them. So, Bushi Agumon, quite good. I like having the 2. That is my rookies. Then, for level 5s, we have 4 Magna Angemons. This card is way better now because the deck has Zwart. And if you can recover into Zwart, the games just feel way better compared to the games where you do not. So Magna Angemon just really gets it done now. I'm also playing Skullgreymon as one of my level 5s. This is probably a little suspect of an inclusion. I like what it does still. You can find a blocker to destroy in a lot more matchups now. They are everywhere. And it really did it's pulled its weight too. Like, it is a red permanent for all the red cards, and that is really the tiebreaker that let me do it. I believe it makes Transcendent Sword even better. And yeah, it's been fine. I could definitely see cutting it for the 4th Lucy or something, just because when you have Blade of the True and so much cycling effects, you're gonna still find your ties a lot of the time, so you don't really need to stress about it. And I might have stressed about it by including this card. That said, it's been fine, and it just might have been too cute. I might even submit it again. I might not. I don't know. But yeah, it kills stuff a lot of the time, and it can be a threat against Lord Knight. Let's say you kill a blocker and they kill it. If they waste like dropping a knight or slashing it or something, you feel pretty great about them killing Skullgreymon, usually, unless you have like Plasma Stake for Lord Knight in hand. But yeah, card has been fine. That's my review of it. I've played it and I haven't hated it. So I think it is perfectly serviceable, this format. Would I recommend it? Maybe not. Maybe not. But I don't hate it. And I guess another reason is because, well, with me cutting Volk, I still wanted the red card, and now with Purge Shines, I didn't really want Volcanic, so Skullgreymon. I gave it a go. Alright, then we have Magnadramon. This card is insane. It became the best card in the deck in BT4, and now, shocker, it's even better. It can recover you into Zwart Defeat. There's really not much to say about this card that hasn't been said or isn't known, but yeah, card's just insane. It really kind of does it all. You can evolve it on top of Magna Angemon, and that said, actually I will talk about this a little more, because in this build, it is a little different. You're not really expecting it to live a lot of the time. We are a super threat-light deck. You're kind of hoping it, recovers into some threats or something, but a lot of the time you're not going to get to keep this, but sometimes you'll get to keep it. It's not the same as it is in other decks where you have like Mistymon to Digivolve your Magnadramon on top of and then get attacking. That doesn't happen as often, though it does still happen. The card still does everything that makes it good. It's just now in this more threat-light build, its flexibility does come up a little less. It's just still obviously amazing. And here's the card to kind of justify this deck. It is Omnimon's Zwart Defeat. Part of playing Security Control, I feel, is that you are kind of guaranteed to draw 3 copies of Zwart Defeat every game, but all you need is 1 to recover, and then it can just completely swing the game. It totally justifies the dead draws. At least that's my opinion right now. You draw a lot of cards, and it sticking in your hand is really not the worst. Sometimes you'll even get 5 or more memory and be able to hard cast it. And in those spots, it's, usually not that bad. But what you're really hoping to do is get it out of security. And, there's lots of times where your opponent will be swinging in and you really want to hit removal and you hit Swart Defeat and you feel very bad. I'm going to try to fix my lighting here a bit. And you feel very bad. But those times are nothing compared to the times where your opponent swings into security early on or whatever really and hits a Swart Defeat and just kind of leans back in their chair and sighs because the game just swung in your favor. This card is fantastic, and I think it really opens up the door for all of these other builds that are happening for security control. These 3-color builds, black base, Mastamon. This card is amazing. It excites me. I want to build a lot of different versions of this deck myself if I end up getting into enough tournaments in this format. But I'll probably keep playing security control in some capacity for as long as I play this game, realistically. So finally, we have our Tamers. We got 2 TKs. I still like TK a lot. You can get some garbage out of your security. I will say that now with so many other not yellow cards, there will be times where you're down to the wire or something and your opponent hits a TK in security and you just lost an extra life because of TK. That'll come up. That's why it's only a 2 of. And I've even had situations where I've played TK and it has just lost me a security. But I do think TK is still quite good. It just adds to consistency of the deck, while also, of course, adding to some inconsistency. But yeah, I think TK is quite valuable. I guess it's also worth mentioning that you will need to grab removal with TK a good amount of the time, and that feels pretty bad, but getting the memory and all that usually makes it worth it. Then, of course, we have 3 Tai Kamiyas. These are what make it work. You get to play your red option cards from your hand, and the plus 1000 DP can actually help out a lot. Of course, sometimes the plus 1000 DP can screw you over. I have lost a match because I hit Tai in security, and then my Omnimon didn't die to get me to kill something of my opponent's, or it can make your Salamon live when you don't want it to. But again, the positives outweigh the negatives. The plus 1000 DP is actually relevant. It lets you choke your opponent on memory, and yeah, it's just been a classic of the archetype. It's what helps you be red-yellow controls, straight up. Basically classic, only mine is threat light. I guess classic would at this point be Valder Arms and actually playing creatures. So then I've got 4 Cupamon, 1 Upamon. I have not really changed the egg formula, but that's the deck. This is what I took to a top 8 finish, but top 16 is really all that matters in these to queue for nationals. I went 7-1, but I will say my last round opponent did not show up. Apparently their power went out, so that's sad to hear, but we did get there. My record with a kind of threat light build, and that's mixing between the time when I got Volcanic and the pre-Purge Shine era, is 15-3, 16-3 if you count the no-show as being a part of this archetype. But yeah, I'm 15-3 by playing Threat Light Security Control in this format so far. I have been a big fan of it. It's been working out. The scariest matchup has really been Lord Knight. My record against Lord Knight is 4-2, so I'm going to keep doing what I can for it to be a little less scary, because in that 4-2, it still has been pretty scary. If I update this list, maybe I'll make another video, maybe I'll make some videos on other builds of security control. Yeah, Yeah, I mean that's really all there is to say about the deck itself. Now, I guess I can quickly say the archetypes that I actually played against in the event. And I think that my pairings were pretty pretty favorable. I played against a lot of Rookie Rush, but that said, Rookie Rush, it's not like it was in previous formats. Rookie Rush is actually a scary match now. It is a lot closer, and if your opponent is keeping you at that for security and trying to go wide, it can go quite bad for you. That's why cards like Perch Shine help out quite a bit. So for my tournament, I played against purple in round 1. My opponent didn't really get to do much, sadly, but we won. We played against Rookie Rush in round 2. If I recall, my opponent was swinging in to my security quite aggressively, which did end up helping me. Don't know their hand, but it might have been better for them to go wide. Who's to say at this stage? I might also upload the video of my tournament, by the way. I've done that in the past. I've just been kind of slacking on posting videos these last couple months, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll try to post more and get those games up, because I do like to get up the games when I do well. I just kind of haven't. But I have been recording a lot of games, so we'll see if I can get some older footage up, even if it's from last format. So yeah, we beat Rookie Rush. Then in round 3, we played against Lord Knight, and I ended up winning in the final turn in turns, and we started the final game with a little over 5 minutes on the clock. So yeah, who says security control can't win fast, even if you're this threat light cheese? So that worked out quite well. I was ecstatic to get a win like that. That was that close. Then after that, we played against Rookie Rush again, and I won. So I was now 4-0, and I have had a streak for this last little while of starting XO at the top tables and then having my wheels fall off. So, and then I guess that's a spoiler alert, but round 5, I played against Lord Knight. Then in game 3, they drew all 4 of their Lord Knights and destroyed me. I think I answered 3 of them even, but the damage was done. I got pretty ranched in that game 3 there against Lord Knight, and it is what it is. I ended up at 4-1. In round 6, I played against Rookie Rush. Round 7, I played against Rookie Rush, and round 8, my opponent didn't show up. So who knows what would have happened if they did? But either way, point is, we got top 8 with Threat Light Security Control. This is the list. If you end up trying it, if you want to talk card decisions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. Feel free to comment below any questions you might have about this build. I hope that more people continue to play Security Control, and yeah, I think that this archetype still has a lot of room to grow, and I find that exciting. So we'll see what happens with Security Control in this format and the next ones. Let's see if I can get... No, glare's gonna happen, but I'll just... Again, I just want to give a close-up shot of the 2 Purge Shines as I end the video here, because this card is the real deal, and I am probably gonna keep playing it throughout this format. But I might just be... I might have my hype glasses on. I don't know yet. Try it out yourself, and if it's unimpressive, I'm sorry, but it's been working for me so far, and I'm going to keep looking for better ways to counteract the Lord Knight matchup with this type of build. I think other Security Control builds can probably do a better job, especially with like Ultimate Flare, though personally I still prefer 2 color, because going 3 adds inconsistency when one of the main attractions to Security Control is just how consistent it is. That said, cards like Ultimate Flare are still quite good, and I'm playing Perch Shine instead, but it plays. I was a fan. So yeah, this is Purge Shine, Threat Light Control, and that's the video.